Holy
sword.
motherfucking my lady was here to see me tonight!
Damn, bro, the chances are so crazy.
Right? What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Unwrapped. Today it's Kink, and we have a special secret lair video for you today. This is a product that is not released at the time of this recording. We only were able and fortunate enough to gain access to it by being at MagicCon Atlanta 2025. And if you don't know already by looking at the background of this video, I am, of course, talking about the secret lair DanDan deck. It was only revealed during the panel of Secret Lair what it would be on Friday. So it leaked a little bit before. We're going to zoom out because there was not only the deck, but also the playmat. The event was awesome. Met a lot of cool people in the event. Shout outs to the devil. It comes in a very nice box, you know, that satin feel. Comes with two foil DanDan life counters. You know, it goes all the way up to 40, so you can use them for full commander as well. For any DanDan player, you know that you only have either 5 life and DanDan deals 1 damage, or you count the full attack power and DanDan deals 4 damage, and you start with 20 life. It also comes with some nice instructions on how to play DanDan, and where DanDan kind of came from a little bit. Shout outs to the creator of DanDan. And then we also get a nice poster of one of the beautiful arts that you'll see on the cards in a little bit. Very nice. So I ended up, again, playing in the tournament, so I had to sleeve it up. And I sleeved it up in my MagicCon 2025 exclusive sleeves there. Space Yargle, Eating the Worlds. But we're just going to go through and look at the cards. If there's any kind of duplicates, we'll thumb past them, but this is what you can get in your DanDan deck. So this is the card that I did swap out. It comes in the deck, Predict. Beautiful art by Rebecca Guay. So there's 2 copies of this, and they did the classic old blue border as well, which is beautiful. But I swapped this out for the 2 secret cards that come in the deck as the secret cards. Because they're a little more fun for the game DanDan, in my opinion, and this was really the only card I could think of swapping out. So it also comes with a mental note. You mill 2, you draw a card. Beautiful art, beautiful border. Vision Charm is the secret card that I ended up swapping the Predicts out for. Bernard Lee did this. It's just amazing, gorgeous foil. There's 2 of them, and DanDan players know this is a board wipe with that choose a land type. The middle mode there. Magical Hack is one of the instants in the deck to destroy some DanDans. Beautiful art again, Samuel Bandini. They are foil, full art, borderless, just like the Memory Lapse. This one was Wiley Beckert, and Memory Lapse foil. Again, it's not like they skimped on it and just gave you 1 special copy of Memory Lapse and the other 3 are just regular blue borders. No, 4 full art Memory Lapses. Crystal Spray didn't get that treatment, but did get the old border treatment. Again, not every card got treated like that, just the ones that are super, you know, synonymous to DanDan, ones that you don't really swap out. I think some people swap out Crystal Spray. I like Crystal Spray. Brainstorm didn't get the treatment, but there's a lot of different Brainstorm treatments that you can swap in place. So I mean, this one is very cool. Good art anyways. Now the islands are very cool. Again, they did not skimp out. Every basic island is an island like this, and there is a panorama that you can make with the islands. You can put 4 of these islands next to each other and do the panorama, and we're going to line them up and see if we can make it real quick while we're going through these cards. So I'm going to throw this one down. Boom. And we'll make the panorama. Now we got the almighty DanDan. The fish himself. Beautiful art. Of course, it's just like on the playmat there. There's another one of the islands that goes into the panorama. Panorama Jamma. There's another island. So this one goes here. Yes, that looks right. That's right. And then there's one that goes in between there, maybe. Okay. Then we have other side DanDan. Here we go with another island. Control Magic with the blue border. Beautiful art by Clint Gearley. Searly, maybe? Sorry, butchering names. I can't read good. Then we got the Surgical Bay. One of the many interesting lands that play in a DanDan deck. And if you play DanDan, you know what I mean. There's another DanDan. Then we got Selûnite Temple with, again, old border. There's Telling Time, which is one of the many cards that let you manipulate the top of the deck. And if you haven't played DanDan, you need to know that that is one of the most important things in the game, is manipulating the top of the deck to keep your opponent from getting cards. You basically are trying to lock your opponent out. Alright, so Telling Time is one of those draw top and bottom cards with the top 3 cards. Haunted Fengraf is one of the only lands that let you get a DanDan from the graveyard back to your hand. Very good land. We got an island. More beautiful islands. Some of the same ones. We haven't found the one to fit our panorama yet. Memory Lapse. Another beautiful Memory Lapse. Like I said, there's a bunch of copies. Halimar Depths. This one manipulates the top of the deck. It's very good. Very good land for DanDan. Mental Note. Okay, is that the one? Nope. Is that the one? This looks like the one that's going to complete the panorama. Yes. So there we have the full panorama of the lands for the DanDan. You can see there, it's beautiful. Accumulated Knowledge, another great card for DanDan. Draw spell, draw more for each accumulated knowledge in the graveyard. Beautiful island. There was a card behind it, another beautiful island. There's Magic Hack again. Chart a course, draw 2. Only have to discard if you have not attacked, so you know, if you're already got DanDans that are attacking, this is going to give you more advantage. Remote Isle, not an island and has cycling, so good for DanDan. There's Brainstorm, another Memory Lapse. Capture of Jing Hao, take an extra turn after this one. Worst case scenario, this is draw a card. Best case scenario, you get another combat with your DanDans. Unsubstantiate, this kills DanDans. Beautiful art as well, Victor Adam Minguez and Jack Way. Beautiful DanDan. Now, I forgot to mention, these DanDans are Kellogg's loops, both of these. And, you know, he did a great job. Or she. I don't know. The land panorama is also Kellogg's loops. There's more accumulated knowledge. Metamorphose. This one is DanDan removal, but your opponent can put things onto the battlefield with it, so you know it's a little bit more friendlier DanDan removal. Mystic Sanctuary, the land island. This one fishes things out of the graveyard, instants and sorceries, excellent for DanDan. I think there might be 1 or 2 of these in here, and that artwork is excellent. We love it. And it's foil, of course. We might have seen everything in the DanDan deck at this point. We'll keep thumbing through. There's a Haunted Fengraf. Days Undoing. I forgot that's in here as well. That's a mythic from Origins that they gave the old border treatment, and I love it. Days Undoing has a special place in my heart. Island. Accumulated Knowledge. Metamorphose. Mystic Sanctuary. Memory Lapse. DanDan. More DanDan, Control Magic. I think we have seen just about everything in the deck at this point, but it is just a very cool product. Crystal Spray, Days Undoing. We got more beautiful Panorama Islands, more Accumulated Knowledge and Memory Lapse, Remote Isle, Halimar DanDans, Capture of Jing Jang, Memory Lapse, Lonely Sandbar, Cycling Lands, Mana Ramp Lands, Cycling Lands, Memory Lapse, Telling Time, Chart a Course, DanDan, Surgical Bay, Unsubstantiate, and more Memory Lapse. That's the only thing you got to be careful about in DanDan. And one thing that I experienced when I was playing in the tournament is that you only use one deck for 2 players. So you want to be careful not to accidentally take someone's cards or someone accidentally leave their cards on the table because they're on your opponent's side of the field and you forget that they're yours. But I don't know if there's going to be anything additional when they do open this up for sale. There might be, but as far as I'm aware, that's all we got as far as this DanDan product and all they were showing off. But if you like DanDan, you want a DanDan deck, this is a very accessible way to get one. Instead of having to buy all the singles that from these old cards that used to be, you know, some of them are a little pricey. You can just go ahead and buy this whole product, get you a play mat, a full DanDan deck. Very fun. I enjoy it. I recommend it.
Like this video and subscribe to the PTW YouTube channel to see more content and find out when our new videos release.
Follow the PTW Twitch channel and subscribe for ad-free viewing.
Don't forget to follow that Facebook and that Twitter to keep up with all the good news.
Don't forget to check out the new merch store. Best way to support the PTW crew and get cool shit at the same time. Thank you all for watching.